Hey makers, this is Dhruvin and welcome to episode 2 of Power BI Beginner step-by-step tutorial series. In this episode, I am going to talk about how you can load your data into Power BI desktop. In first class, we have discussed about how you can install the Power BI desktop in your machine, as well as we take a tour of overall Power BI desktop. If you haven't watched that video, maybe the link is available in the description box or check out the playlist for more information. So now let's start with today's class agenda over here. So before we start, let me just talk about couple of things over here. Number one, that I have uploaded one GitHub repository on my GitHub over there, where I have uploaded all the sample files for your practice. So let's say with this class onwards, if you want to practice along with me with the data set which I have used into this overall class file, you can directly download it from there and follow along with me throughout this overall lab exercise so that you will also gain the confidence into the Power BI for that. So without further delay, let's get started. So first of all, let me just open up my Power BI desktop over here on the screen. So currently I have created a blank Power BI file over here. So the first task here I want to implement is I want to load the data into the Power BI. So whenever we open the Power BI for the very first time, you are able to see this kind of UI. Now in Power BI, there are 1400 plus connectors available from where you can load your data. Now, to load the data inside the Power BI, there is an option used over here called Get Data. So Get Data is your starting point whenever you start using any kind of Power BI report development. Now, overall in this particular home section, if you observe the data section over here, you are having the other options as well. You can explore it directly from here or simply clicking on Get Data over here. When you click on Get Data, you can see so many different connectors are available over here. You can connect the different data sources like any kind of file, Dataverse, Fabric, Power Platform, Azure, online services or other. There are so much flexibility available over here to connect with your data sources. Now over here, I want to connect different data sources into this particular exercise. I want to build one sales dashboard, and for that I'm going to load my data from one of the CSV file, one of the Excel file, and one of the folder on my Windows system. I want to use these three as a source to load my data over here. So now let's start our journey by loading the data from three different sources and load everything one by one into the Power BI desktop over here. So let's get started. But before that, if you are for the very first time to my channel, make sure you hit thumbs up, hit like this video, subscribe my channel so that any new Power BI video which I'm posting on my YouTube channel, you will get notified instantly. And I'm uploading lots of short content on my Instagram as well. So don't forget to follow my Instagram and Twitter. All the links are available in the description box. Check it out over there. Alright, so let's get started. So the very first step that you need to do here is you need to open my GitHub repository, for which I have provided the link in the description box. First of all, let's download the source file over there, and I am going to show you as well which source file I have published over there. Okay, so make sure you click the link from the description box, or maybe check the first comment, pinned comment, where also I provide the same link to download the resources. Okay, after that, once you download it, you will be able to see this kind of folder called DAID student. Okay, you will be able to see this kind of folder over here. Maybe you will be getting that folder in your download folder. So maybe move it to C drive or D drive depending on wherever you want to store those files, because throughout this next 18 class, I am going to use the same source for different purposes. Okay, now let's extract this folder, and to extract this, right click on this and just click on extract all. And basically it will extract all the files for you. Now, once you extract the files, this is how it looks like over here. You will be able to see the different data section, report section, and different slides over here as well. Okay, but we don't need to go through each folder over here at this point, because now our focus is to load the data inside the Power BI using the Get Data option. and we are going to build the sales dashboard over here. So first of all, whenever you want to load any data from any source, as I said, the idea here is get data. Using that, you can simply load your data points. So first of all, let's load some data from one of the CSV file. So let's say if you want to load from CSV, you can simply select text CSV over here. Sometimes, let's say in your real industry, if you have a need of loading the data from SQL Server, then probably search over here for SQL Server. And over here you will be finding the SQL Server database connector as well, where you can simply provide your server information, enter your username, password, and simply connect it out over here. Okay, we will show those use cases as well in the future, but let's say at this point, let's focus on text CSV to load the data from CSV file. So let's select it and click on connect. As soon as you click on connect, basically, let me just open up my file over here. And over here, whenever you open DAID student folder, go to the data, and underneath that there is a folder called US sales. And in US sales, there is a file called sales. Just open up that sales files over here. And meantime, let me just show you that sales file over here as well on my screen. So you will get a better idea that, okay, what kind of data I'm trying to load over here into my Power BI desktop. So let me just open that up quickly. So here I am. Let me just open up that CSV file, and in this CSV file, basically I have this kind of data like product, date, zip code, units, and revenue. Okay, this is what I simply want to load in my Power BI desktop. So let's select it out and click on open. As soon as you click on open, it will try to connect your thing. But make sure one thing, that whenever you are trying to load your data, at the time your file is closed. So over here I opened that file. Let me just close it out. If your file is open, probably it will throw you an error. So let me simply close it out. And now this is what it is showing me over here as a preview. So based on first 200 rows, it is showing you the preview. Now over here, there is an option. Either you can simply load your data, or even if you want to do any kind of transformation, you can use transform data, or let's say if you want to simply cancel it out, you can cancel that out as well from here. But what I'm doing here is, instead of loading directly, I am using the approach here, transform data. So now, what is transform data in the world of Power BI? So whenever you click on transform data, basically it will open up the transformation screen, and again, it is called as Power Query inside the Power BI. Okay, most of you, if you already work with the Excel, in Excel as well, behind the scene, if you want to do any kind of model transformation, usually Power Query is being used. So similar way in the world of Power BI as well, if you want to do any kind of transformation can be anything. Either you want to change the data type, or let's say if you want to do any kind of customization, like say if you want to create any custom columns, or let's say for example if you want to replace any values, or let's say if you want to add new columns or remove any existing columns, all of those transformation you can do it over here with the transform data inside the Power Query. We will see in a while, but let's simply clicking on transform data at this point. As soon as you click on transform data, basically it will open up this kind of Power Query window for you, where you can see all the data being loaded over here. Now in the Power Query, this is the home screen of the Power Query, and over here, similar way like other Office product, you can see the ribbon and different menu option. On the left hand side, you can see the different queries. Queries are nothing but what data source you have added. So we have added our sales data source, so it is showing me sales over here. In the center, you can see the preview of your data, and on the right hand side, you can see the query settings over here. Whichever steps are being applied in the Power Query, it will be appear over here underneath applied step section over here. Now over here, I just wanted to do one important thing. Like overall, you can see zip code. Zip code is having the number data type. So you can see here 1, 2, 3 over here, which means it is number data type. Now here I just want to change the data type. So what I'm going to do here is simply clicking on this, and let me convert into text data type. So what happened here is, right now you can see some of the zip code 8816 or 8527. Before that there should be some sort of 0, right? And when it is number, it is just ignoring that. So let me just convert into text data type. So whenever it require any kind of 0 appended before the number starts, it will be available over there. So let's replace the current, and over here you will be able to see that, this one 7649, before that there is a 0, right? 8816 and 8527, before that it is 0, right? So this simple transformation, I just wanted to do it over here. Alright, hopefully you have followed me so far. If not, take a pause this video and load this data and do this transformation over here. Pause this video at this point and then let's follow the next step. So what is the next step? Next step is we need to load now the Excel data source. Okay, but before that, what I'm doing here is I'm simply clicking on close and apply at this point, and let's just load this table first. So I'm just loading this table. Let it to be loaded. It will take few seconds in order to load your data, and this is a large file, so let it to be loaded. So you can see it started loading and it just finishing this process. Okay, let's wait for a moment to load this out completely. And here I am. The data has been loaded successfully. Once your data is loaded, you can always look at that data over here underneath the data section over here, and you can see sales data with all these columns has been successfully added. At the same time, if you open up this table view, probably you will be able to see the data over here as well. So this is showing all the data which is being just loaded. Alright. Now at this point, the very important step is we need to save our Power BI file. So let's save this out. So I'm just using Ctrl S, and let me just provide the name of my Power BI file. So I'm just providing this file name is Power BI class 02, and let's save this file over here. Now let's load the another data source. So first data source that we have loaded over here is our CSV data source. Now it's time to load our Excel data source. And first of all, let me show you my Excel file as well over here. So I have an Excel file called B dimensions, and in which that I have the different sheet as well. So product, manufacturer, geo, I do have these different sheets, and all this data I somehow wanted to load in my Power BI desktop file. So let's load this out. To load the data from the Excel file, either you can use get data option, or there is a direct option also available over here called Excel workbook. You can use any one of this. I'm simply following the best practices by going into get data, and from that the first option itself available here as an Excel workbook. Let me select that Excel workbook and click on connect. As soon as you click on that, you will be able to see the Excel file over here called B dimension. So this is the same file, same folder, US sales, underneath data, underneath DID students. Okay, you just need to load that file. Click on open, and as soon as you open that up, first of all, it is going to show us a preview. So over here, you can see the different thing over here. You can see product table, geo, and manufacturing, and again the product over here. Now let's select the sheets that you want to load over here from the Excel data source. So let it to be loaded over here first, and then we will select one by one. So let's say if you want to just load the product table, just select this out, and basically it will show you the preview over here as well. Similar way, let's say I want to load the geo and manufacturer over here. You can just load those as well over here. Simply clicking on transform data, and basically it will load this data over here. Let's click on transform data, and basically let the data to be loaded over here. So over here you can see that this is the product table which is being perfectly loaded over here. Okay, then we are having the geo table, which is also something which we have loaded, and then we have manufacturer table, which is also something which we have loaded over here. Now at this point I'm not going to do any kind of transformation, because transformation is something we are going to do into class number 3. Okay, but right now let's focus on the data loading process over here. Simply clicking on close and apply at this point, and load these 3 tables as well on the screen. So let it to be loaded, and let's wait for a moment to load. And here I am, my all the data added over here perfectly, geo, manufacturer, and product table, and sales is something which we have already loaded. So this was our CSV file, and other thing are from my Excel spreadsheet. Right? So far over here we have loaded two data sources, Excel and CSV. Hopefully you have also followed this particular exercise along with me. If no, then just pause for a moment and finish up to this point. Now let's add our third data source, which is a folder data source. Sometimes you have a scenario where you are having multiple files and all the multiple files are loaded into one folder. And let's say you want to consume that folder as a data source. How you can consume into the Power BI? That's something we are going to look at over here. So first of all, whenever you open your DAID student practice file, which you have downloaded from my GitHub, underneath data, you will be able to see a folder called international sales. When you click on that, you will be able to see the sales data from different countries over here, like Australia, Canada, Germany, Japan, Mexico, and Nigeria. Now, this entire sales folder is somewhat I want to consume in my Power BI desktop. Then how can I do that? For that, simply clicking on Get Data over here again. And as soon as you do that, you are having an option folder. Let's select that and click on Connect. As soon as you click on that, it will ask you for the folder path. Click on Browse, and I'm just simply going to this C drive and DID student, data and international sales. This is the folder which I want to simply choose here for myself. Click on OK and click on OK. As soon as you do this thing, basically it will showing you three options: combine, load, and transform data over here. Simply clicking on combine button over here, because ultimately we want to combine all the data over here from that folder. Click on combine, and when you click on combine, it will show you two options: combine and transform data and combine and load. Let's select combine and transform data over here. So basically it will open up the Power Query window for us. So let it to be open, and as soon as you do this thing, you will be able to see this option. Basically it will show you the preview of combining the data from the different files, and click on OK. As soon as you click on OK, it will simply open up the Power Query window for us. Let it to be loaded, and let's see what it come up with. And here I am. You can see that international sales data has been added over here, and from each source files, what are the data which is also showing to me over here. Like from Australia file, it just loaded this data. When you scroll down, you will be able to see the other countries file over here for yourself. Even if you click on load more, it will be showing you more data over here to you. So let it to be loaded, and you can see all the different source data are combined over here perfectly, and it is showing to me over here. Now, if you have observed one thing, that right now this international sales table is being showing over here, and it has gone through the different steps over here, because it is writing or it is reading the data from that folder, and each file from that folder is being read over here. Now remember one thing, this entire Power Query uses M as a language. M language is considered as like this. Whenever you select any step and when you look at this is the kind of formula you can able to see here. Even if you click on Advanced Editor, you will be able to see what kind of transformation it has done over here for yourself. Now, the good thing about Power BI is it is low code, no code, which means that you don't need to learn the M language. Basically, UI will do that activity automatically behind the scene for you. But right now, you just need to focus on the learning part, and UI part is already added over here as a part of the query step. Also, you can observe one more thing here, that whenever we have used this folder, at the time, behind the scene, it has used this kind of function in order to load the data into the Power BI. So these are called as a function inside the Power Query. We don't need to worry about these functions at this point, because these functions are automatically created when you loaded your folder data. But just for your understanding purpose, I'm explaining this to you. Now, simply to load this data, click on close and apply, and basically this will load your data over here. So let's wait for a moment and it will start loading this data over here. It started loading. You can see that couple of files started loading already over here. And here I am. You will be able to see that one of the loaded query connected error. Okay, you don't need to worry about that at this point. Simply clicking on close and you can see the data has been loaded as well perfectly. In international sales, you can see the combined data set added over here. Now let's click on save this file and let's save up to this point over here. Right? So this is the way you can load your data inside the Power BI. So this was a second class. Now just imagine if you are having any other data sources, you simply use get data to load your data into Power BI, and some of the transformation you can do with the help of Power Query. Now in the class number 3, we will be going to talk about the different kind of transformation in detail. Specifically, we will explore this Power Query and what are the things or manipulation of the data which you can do before you start building your Power BI report. That's something we are going to explore into class number 3. But before that, we need to play a quiz over here, as well as you need to tell me in the comment section as well, what do you feel for this particular video? Have you loaded your data into your Power BI desktop or not yet? Just tell me in the comment section so I know that how many of you are following with me so far with this tutorial series. Alright, so now finally it's a quiz time. The number one question is, which of the following is the first step to import the data into Power BI desktop? Option A, use Power Query editor. Option B, click on load data. Option C, click on get data. And option D, create a data model. You just need to answer your question in the comment section like Q1. Then what would be your answer? A, B, C or D? Alright. Question 2. Which of this is not a common data source into Power BI's get data model? Option A, Excel workbook. Option B, SQL Server. Option C, PDF. Option D, Adobe Photoshop file. Question 3. After selecting the data source and previewing the data, which options allows you to clean or shape the data before loading into the model? Option A, refresh. Option B, load. Option C, transform data. Option D, save. Tell me in the comment section. Question 4. What is the primary role of Power Query editor in Power BI? Option A, to build the visual dashboard. Option B, to write DAX formula. Option C, to clean, transform and prepare the data. And option D, to publish the report to Power BI service. Question 5. What happens when you click the load button after selecting a table from a data source? Option A, data is cleaned and then deleted. Option B, data is visualized directly without a model. Option C, data is loaded into Power BI model without any transformation. And option D, data is exported to Excel. Alright, tell me in the comment section, what do you think about this quiz question? Alright, Power Apps training. So that's it for today. If you are for the first time to my channel, make sure you hit thumbs up and subscribe my channel, and don't forget to follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. All the links are available in the description box, and if you are looking for any live training with me, check the website for the latest date or connect us on WhatsApp on the number mentioned below in the description box. With this is Dhruvin signing off. See you in the next session with some amazing content. Till then, have a great day. Goodbye.